Oh, yeah. Well, good morning. Welcome to philosophy. Remember when I first heard that phrase, it was really kind of heartwarming. I had just quit music. I was originally a music major in college, and at about the end of the first semester, I discovered I didn't have something called talent. So I switched to something else that I had no clue what philosophy was, but had a lot of free electives. So I figured, well, I'll take those free electives, figure out which one I like, and then switch again. And because otherwise I could have ended up in Vietnam, that was a thing back then. And so I ended up liking philosophy, so I stayed in philosophy. It's still there, actually. So anyway, how many of you have visited Blackboard and discovered I have posted a few things I hope you've seen? So the syllabus is there. Notice that you can actually do everything from home online, actually. So I'm still worried about the COVID thing, and we still have COVID in the area. Obviously, I had a friend just last week catch COVID, and he's old enough and weak enough that it's a serious issue, of course. I'm old. This is the oldest I've ever been, and still everything works so far, as far as I know. Yeah, hopefully none of us want to catch COVID or any of the other wonderful things that are going around. So if you end up sick or end up deployed, if you're in the military or any of that stuff, the way I have the course set up, all of the graded things can be done from home, sending me emails. That's how I'm set up. So even though I'll have quizzes, I'll do a quiz today, for example. The way you send the quiz to me is through email. So, and I've got a camera on. It's terrible. If you've ever seen any of my videos, they mostly zoom in on my stomach, which is, I'm not intending to advertise. This is, I'm not a Buddha. It's not how I want to do things. But you can watch the class through these crappy videos. Main thing I hope is that at least you could see the subtitles if you need to be able to read. You can't hear what's going on. So theoretically, you could do the class without actually coming. However, people tend to really enjoy being in the class. That's because I think the nature of the topics, the questions, the discussions that might get started, it's much funner, and I think it should be a real word. It's much funner if you're present. So I encourage you to come actually to class instead of just attending online. Another reason I'm doing all of this is because I have a second section which is just online. And in fact, I could invite people that are in that class if they want to come. It looks like we might have at least enough room for a couple of people to do that. Usually the whole class doesn't come at once anyway, so that's something that they might want to do. And so the videos and the whole process is something that notice people are taking online totally. The other course I have this semester is Logic, which meets Tuesdays and Thursdays. And that one's a hybrid, so I'm doing both at once. So that should be fun. I don't have any idea how many people are actually going to physically come to class and how many are going to sit at home with their newborn. I did get one email. One student has just given birth to a child, they call them. I guess you've heard of that. How many of you were children once? 2 or 3 of you. Huh. So, and yes, I do tell jokes. It's Neat. All right, so what is philosophy? Intro to philosophy. Should be the easiest and funnest course. That's also a word. I have to admit, I was a linguist. I'm a retired linguist, actually. My languages were Russian, German, and French. So I spent 16 years, 9 months, and 3 days in the Army. But who's counting, right? And I'm fully retired, though, because they said, well, the Russians are our friends now, so we don't need Russian linguists anymore. So they said, do you want to retire? And I said, that was the whole reason I joined the Army, was to retire. That's a joke, too. However, so I retired in '95 and started teaching here, which was fun. Has been fun since then, and it's even funner. It gets funner all the time because I tell the same jokes, but for some reason, people are less familiar with them than they, nobody listens to Bill Cosby anymore because I think it's illegal. So if I do a Bill Cosby joke, most of you won't realize I'm stealing it from Bill Cosby, and it could even still be funny today. Okay, so philosophy literally means love of wisdom. Yes, philia is a Greek word. How many of you like C.S. Lewis? Okay, so C.S. Lewis is famous, actually, for lots of things. He's not just a writer of children's stories, he's also a philosopher, a student of ancient languages and things. A friend of Tolkien, if you're familiar with J.R.R. Tolkien. But he tells us in the Four Loves that one of the words that the Greeks had, which was philia, could also be translated as love in English. It usually would be translated more as friendship, however. And what he describes philia as two or more individuals that walk sort of hand in hand, looking at the world and enjoying the same things. So your friend is someone that enjoys the same things with you. So it's that kind of love. You love other people that love the same things that you love, right? So that's kind of what philia is. So it's love in that sense of Sophia, and Sophia, feminine, interesting, is wisdom, as opposed to knowledge. A lot of folks think it's love of knowledge, but it's love of wisdom. Sophia is wisdom. And the word for science, which is Latin, by the way, for knowledge. Yes? Everybody knows that? Maybe not. I know you didn't have to suffer with Latin for a couple of years in high school. I had 2 years of Latin, 2 years of French, and then college French, and then one Koine Greek course, so you could read the New Testament. Yes, that was that goal. And then one German course, because I had a German girlfriend and I wanted to know what her parents were saying about me behind my back or in front of me without thinking I could understand the German. Aber Deutsch is English mit ein Akzent. German is English with an accent. Did you catch it? Yes, that's easy, right? You can speak German. All you have to do is speak English with a German accent, and you're there. It is. I took the test in Germany and passed it with flying colors, and I just had that one 3-credit course in college, so it's easy. Leicht, sehr leicht. Plus, ein Bier bitte, right? A beer, 1 beer, please. Right? So you pick it up pretty quickly. And I was stationed in Berlin for 3 years. In fact, I'll show you the picture of where I worked. This is the way it looks today. This is sort of the way it looked when I worked there. And I sometimes ask people, what does that look like? But don't answer that question out loud, at least. And that was on the highest peak in Berlin. And from the dining facility, which is here, you could see Poland from there. Years ago, when we had a governor named Sarah Palin, that was a funny line. You could see Poland from there. She was famously misquoted on a comment that was similar to that. But so I was stationed there for 3 years. I like showing people that picture because it's fun. And my oldest daughter was born there, which is cool. I have a daughter who was born abroad. I'm not going to play on that joke because it just means she was born overseas. But she can still run for president someday. Okay. So Philia Sophia literally means love of wisdom. Scientia, which would be knowledge in Latin, is mathematikos, is a knowledge person in Greek. So math is literally knowledge in Greek. If that makes sense. A similar word in Greek is episteme, which we have, when we're talking about philosophy, we break philosophy up into different subgroups. One of them is epistemology, so the study of knowledge. How do we know? How is knowledge possible? We like to think we know a lot about how knowledge works. Could be funny, know how knowledge, no, okay, well you get it. At the same time, how many folks have heard about something called fake news? You've heard of fake news? What makes fake news fake? Okay, that's a hard question. Yes, go.
It's a lie.
It's a lie. What is a lie?
An untrue statement.
I like that, yes?
Yeah, not the truth. Like,
Not true.
Knowledge that you're telling, like you're telling something that isn't.
That's an important part of it. I've got lawyer friends. That's okay, right? There are some good lawyers. In fact, 95% of the lawyers give the other lawyers a bad name. I don't know how that works. But there are some good lawyers, although the one I really like is dead, which happens to people. And I'll talk about his father too, by the way, when I get to it. But lawyers agreed with the idea that a lie is when you know what's true, but you deliberately say what's false to mislead people. Right? So that's considered a lie. I have some problems with that, though. This is a cup. True statement? Everyone in the room agrees this is a cup? You don't.
It's a thermos.
Thermos. Isn't a thermos a kind of cup, though?
It could be a cup, like
But it's still a cup.
depends on how you define cup.
That's true. It is. I'm just thinking if we're all fluent speakers of English,
Yeah, it's a cup.
it's a cup. Yeah. So that's a true statement. It's a good cup. Exactly. Is it a good cup?
that's subjective to you. You say-
Subjective. Yeah. Yeah. In other words, this is a cup. Clearly a true statement. This is a good cup. Now we have a problem because it's not a good cup, actually. It leaks like crazy, even though I have the lid on. I didn't get you today. By the way, it is a thermos, too. It stays cold the whole class. what just happened? We have utterances that are neither true nor false that nonetheless give us information. Just before we even have gotten into things, I would argue that an awful lot of what are called lies today are statements that we disagree with that are neither true nor false. So strictly speaking, when people say that that's a lie, or that's fake,